Hello everyone. Today we are going to solve May-June 2025 exam for 0607 syllabus. Before starting talking about the exam, let's first say one important thing, which is instructions. Before starting solving any exam, please start reading instructions very well. Look, for example, that you must show all necessary working clearly. You will be given marks for correct methods, even if your answer is incorrect. So it's very important to show your work. One tip you may think about and you may do, the total mark for this paper is 75 minutes and you have 90 minutes to finish the exam. So you may consider like 1 minute per 1 mark, and you will have extra 15 minutes. In this case, you may use those 15 minutes for review and revision and double check your calculations. Let's start. Of course, the list of formulas is given, but you should know not all formulas will be given. So this is the list of formulas what you are going to see. For example, the formula for finding a midpoint will not be given. Formula for finding the length or distance will not be given. So some formulas you should know. Question 1. Work out this number. As you see, you have 0.02 cubed. Cubed, it means this number is multiplied by itself 3 times. Like 0.02 times 0.02 times 0.02. In this case, the answer is 0.0000008. How we get this answer? As you see, this is 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places. So in total we have 6 decimal places. So when you write 8, 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, you have to make 6 decimal places. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 decimal places. So the answer will be 0.123456. So 6 decimal places. So try usually to write the final answer in the space provided. Okay? So as you say, this number what you have, we call it ordinary number. So we need to convert it in part 2 or part B as standard form. In standard form, it should be A times 10 to the power of n, where A should be greater than or equals to 1 and less than 10. And n should be integer. So integer here means it can be positive, can be negative, can be 0, but should be whole number. Okay? So in this case, 8 will be 8 times 10 to the power of how many decimal places we have here. So this 8 is 6, so it will be minus 6. So again, this minus 6, it doesn't mean that this number is negative. Minus 6, it means that this number is very small. Okay? It means we have this number of decimal places. Okay? So the answer is 8 times 10 to the power of negative 6. Usually I ask and I recommend to double check your answer. So look here, this 8, is it between 1 and 10? Yes. Is the power here is integer? Yes. So my answer is correct. Now let's move to the next one. Next one. This is a list of numbers. Write down all the prime numbers. One of the best tips in exam is to read the question very well. So the question here, when they say write down all, you have to write all of them. Okay, not only one. Because in some questions, just write down a prime number, so you can pick any of them. But here also, you have to write all of them to get the full mark. In this case, prime numbers are 31, then 37, then 41. Okay, so 31, 37, 41. Okay. By the way, you should know not only the prime numbers, but also you should know cube numbers, square numbers. You should know multiples. You should know factors. As well, you should know triangle numbers. Okay, so you have to check all of them. Okay, because the question in exam can be about not only about prime numbers, but also about other stuff. Like, let's say them again. Prime numbers, square numbers, cube numbers, triangle numbers, factors or multiples. They may ask about common factors, common multiples, and natural numbers, integers, reciprocals, rational and irrational numbers. So you should know all of them. Okay? Next one. The question is, write the fraction 24 over 64 in its simplest form, or as it's written here, lowest term. So in its lowest term, it means it's in simplest form. Okay, you should know also that sometimes the questions, it will be written in different forms. So lowest terms, it means simplest form. Okay, so we need to simplify. So this 24 over 64, you may divide both by 8. So the answer is 3 over 8. 24 over 8, 3. 64 over 8, it's 8. So the answer is 38. Next question is to convert 250 centimeters cubed into meters cubed. As you know, that from centimeters to meters, okay, you divide by 100. So from small unit to a big unit, you divide. So we divide by 100 if it's from centimeters to meters. But here from centimeters cubed to meters cubed. So in this case, you have this one to be cubed as well. So you should take this 250 and divide it by 100 cubed, which is 1 million. So if you divide this one by 10, so you can cancel those zeros. So 25 over 100,000. So 0.1234. So we have 5 decimal places. So let's write the final answer, 0.00025. Now, next question about the mathematical name. A quadrilateral has exactly one pair of parallel sides. Write down the mathematical name of this quadrilateral. Now, look, we have exactly 2 lines or one pair. They are parallel. What we call this shape? The shape is trapezium, right? So you should know also that these questions, like can be in exam as well. So you should know all shapes, okay, the mathematical names. You may be asked about mathematical names like kite. You may be asked about, for example, a tangent. You may be asked about isosceles, and so on. You should know all of them. Next question. Share 120 in the ratio of 2/3. So we have the total, which is 120, and we need to share. So in this case, let's find one part. So one part is the total divided by the addition of the ratio. So 2 plus 3. So it's 120 divided by 5. So the answer is 24. Now, how about 2 parts and 3 parts? So 2 parts, it means 2 times 24. Then 3 parts, 3 times 24. So this one, it will be 48. And this one will be 72. So these are the two numbers. You may double check. Usually I recommend to double check. So if you add them, it should be 120. So if you add 48 plus 72, is it 120? Yes. So it means you are right. So this one 48 and 72. Next question. Next part. Actually, it's similar. We will apply the same rule, but now instead of saying 2, 3, we will talk about x and y. So let's apply the same. So one part is z, which is total, divided by x plus y. How about x parts? So x parts equals to this x times the one part, which is z over x plus y. So the answer is xz over x plus y. And then how about y parts? The same, y times z over x plus y. So the answer is yz over x plus y. So this is our answer. Let's write the answer. xz over x plus y, and here yz over x plus y. Next one. At a school, 50 students are asked their favorite car color. The table shows the results. So we have each color with the frequency. So red, the frequency is 7, so repeat it 7 times. Blue is X, white 15, silver 16, black X. Find the value of X. As you know that the total number of students is 50, so the sum of the frequency should be 50. So we should add all of them and equals to 50. So it should be 7 plus X plus 15 plus 16 plus X, all of them equals to 50. Now, how many X we have? Let's collect the like terms. We have 2X, and let's collect 7 plus 15 plus 16. So it should be 38. Now 2X equals to 50 minus 38. So 2X equals to 12. So X equals to 6. So we can write now that x here equals to 6. Then let's move to next one. Find the frequency or the relative frequency of red. So what is red? Or red is this one. So red is 7 over the total, which is 50. Next question. Question here is to expand and simplify. As we said before, expand is to multiply brackets. So you should multiply 5 times 2x, which is 10x. 5 times -1 is -5. Then the same there, -3 times 3, -9. -3 times 4x, it's -12x. Now let's collect the like terms. I have 10x -12x, it's -2x, and then we have -5 -9, it's -14. So the answer is -2x -14. Next question. Factorize. So we need to factorize the three equations we have. We'll start with the first one, but before starting you should know factorize usually means fully factorize. So don't make one step and stop. You have to fully factorize to get the full mark, especially when you have 2 marks like this one. So in this part, 3y minus y squared, so it's just one step. When you factorize, only you have here y, so it will be 3 minus y. If you want double check, y times 3, 3y, y times minus y squared. Usually try after solving any equation to double check. Now let's move to next one. To factorize, usually we need to collect the like terms. So when you look at this one, I have here x, and there we have x. So I'll collect those two terms. So 8 and minus 12, I can factorize here to be take 4. And you have there x and x, so you can take x. So now what will remain inside? So it will be 2a. How about there? It will be -3b. If you want double check, 4x times 2a, it's 8ax. 4x times -3b, it's -12bx. Now, next part, here we have y, both terms. So let's take here minus y. So if I'll take minus y there, what will remain inside? Look at this one. Here it will be 2a. Actually, let's make it plus. So it will be 2y, 2a. And then if you look at this part, you have -3b. Okay. Usually when you solve this type of questions, you'll discover that the two brackets you have, they are the same. And this is actually the point when I say it should be fully factorization. So if you just leave this step, you'll get only 1 mark, not 2. So let's factorize again. So this bracket is the same as this one. So let's factorize. So I can take this to a minus 3b. And the second bracket will be this for x and plus y. Okay. So this is fully factorization. Next one. Next one, we need to factorize Again, I have 3x squared, which is 3x times x. And the other side, I have minus 12. Okay. Take care that the sum should be plus 5x. So minus 12 itself, it can be like the factors of 12. It can be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 3 times 4. Let's try 3 times 4 and see. And this is negative, so they have different signs. One of them plus, and the second one should be minus. Okay? And usually, the big number should take the sign of the middle. So if this one should be negative, this one should be positive. And let's check if our answer is right or not. We will multiply what's inside and multiply what's outside. And we'll look at the sum. If it's a 5 plus 5x, so it's right. So if I multiply what's inside, it's a 4x. If I multiply what's outside, it's minus 9x. Oh, so it's negative 5x. Oh, I should switch them. So it's not negative plus. It should be actually here negative. Here's plus. So it should be negative 4x and here plus 9x. Okay, so now when I take 9x minus this 4x, it should be the 5x, which is the same at the middle, so this is right. So the factorization of 3x squared plus 5x minus 12 should be 3x minus 4 times x plus 3. So I will write the final answer there, 3x minus 4 and x plus 3. And again, usually double check, because if you have any mistake for any reason, you will discover it when you double check. Okay, the sum of inside plus the sum of inside and outside should be equals to the middle term. Okay, next part, next question. And they said we have a table, and this table shows the marks scored by each of the 60 students in a science test, and we need to write down the mode. And as we mentioned before, mode, it means most frequent or most repeated. So we should look at what is the highest frequency. Okay, so this is most frequent. So where exactly we have the highest frequency? So if you look at frequency, you'll discover that 14 is the highest. Okay, so it means what? It means that the most repeated mark is 1. So 1 is the mode. Okay, then find the interquartile range. So the interquartile range is the upper quartile minus lower quartile. So which we will write it like IQR equals to UQ minus LQ. Or sometimes, especially in GDC, you'll find it like Q3 minus Q1. Okay, so our goal now to find the upper quartile and the lower quartile and then to subtract them. The upper quartile is the position of the upper quartile. It's at 75% of n, or 3/4 of n. So 3/4 n, and n in this question is 60. So the answer is 45th. Okay, so where exactly this 45th? If you here we have the first two. If you add 14, here the first 16. If you add 5, okay, so here is 21. So you should add till you reach to 35th. Where exactly it is? So you will go there till you reach to this one. Okay. Actually, you know that here is the last 10, so this 2 is the last 10. So we know that here we have till 50. Okay. So if you look at the table, you'll discover that the upper quartile is here, which is 8. Let's do the same. Lower quartile equals to 1/4 of n. So 1/4 times 60, which is 15th. Let's go to see where is 15th. Well, if you discover that 15, this is the 15th will be located here, because this is the 2, the first 2, and here the first 16th. So the answer is 1. So this one is 1. Okay, so the interquartile range now, which is 8 minus 1, so the answer is 7. Next question. We look at the first question is use set notation. So when you talk about set notation, it means we are going to use union and intersection and complement and those notations. So if you look at this one, this question, first one, you have the universal set, and inside we have A and B, and now we need to describe the shaded region. So if you noticed here that everything shaded out of B, so out of B, it means not B or B complement. But this one, we added something to that, which is A. So this is union A. Okay. Next part, you look again that there is intersection there. Everything out of Q, so we can make Q complement, but intersecting with P, intersecting with so the first question is B complement intersecting okay, this is the set notation question. So complement of B union A and complement of Q intersecting P. Next part or next question, question number 11. Here we talk about index. Let's solve it. So this cube is for everything inside. Also, there is a popular mistake that students usually they think that they will write like just 5x cubed, but they forget that 5 has to be cubed as well. So don't forget that you have cubed here. Now this one is division. I may convert this division to be multiplication, but in this case I will take reciprocal of the second part, so I can make it like x over 1. Okay, like x over 1, and also to the power of 4, like this one to the power of 4, and 1 of course to the power of 4, which is 1. Okay, so the answer is 125 x cubed times x to the power of 4. So the answer now is 125. In case of multiplication, we add the indices, so it will be to the power of 7. Next part, next question, question number 12. Question number 12, that you have a pyramid on the top of a cuboid, and the question is we need to show that x equals to 20, and it's given that the total volume of the solid is 32,000 centimeters cubed. So let's find the volume. So we need to find the volume of the pyramid plus the volume of the cuboid. Okay. Let's take step by step. So you know that the volume of the pyramid equals to 1/3 the base area times the height. So 1/3, the base area here is square. And it's the base of the pyramid is a square and the side is x, so it will be x squared. And the height is 3x, so times 3x. And actually it's good that 3x, so we can cancel x with 3 with 3. So the answer is x cubed. Then we need to find the volume of the cuboid. The cuboid volume, so you have to multiply the three sides. So x times x, so x times x times 3x. So the answer is 3x cubed. Now, the total volume equals to 3x cubed plus x cubed, like this part plus this part, so which is 4x cubed. But it's given already that the total volume is 32,000, so we'll write 32,000 centimeter cubed. Let's simplify. So we can divide both by 4. So x cubed equals to 8,000 centimeter cubed. So x, it's the cube root of 8,000. So the answer is 20 centimeters. And this is what they asked us to show. So, done. And I advise my students to write the work, like to show all your working, plus to write it in order, like step 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, like don't write to the left, then to the right, then again to the left, and just don't mix your questions to make it easy for the examiner to grade your work. Okay, next part. Okay, next question. Show that x equals to 5. As I ask my question usually to think about when you have any question about trigonometry, to ask yourself, is this one right angle triangle? If yes, so you have only two options, Pythagoras or trigonometric ratios. If the question involved an angle, so it means you will not use Pythagoras, you are going to use the trigonometric ratios. So now look here, what I need to find. I need to find the opposite. And what I have an angle and I have the hypotenuse. In this case, opposite and hypotenuse, it means I can use sine. So sine 30 equals to the opposite, which is x, divided by the hypotenuse, which is 10. So x equals to what? 10 sine 30. And one important tip here you should know, that in exam you will not be given the exact values, especially in paper 2. So as we mentioned before, you should know the exact values of 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, 180, 270, and 360, of course, which is the same as 0 in case of sine. So in this case, 10 sine 30, which is 0.5. So the answer is 5 centimeters. Next question is to find the value of y. Okay. How to find the value of y? The value of y, if you look there at this triangle, it's right angle triangle. So the same question, is it right angle triangle? Yes. But now you have x, which is 5. So this one 5 and this one 13, you can find y. Okay? So right angle triangle, you have two sides, you need to find the third one, so you use Pythagoras. So how to use Pythagoras in this case? Y squared equals to the hypotenuse squared with a thicker, which is 13 squared, minus y, the other side, which is 5 squared. And so y squared equals to 169 minus 25. By the way, you should know in paper 2 the square root of all numbers till 15 at least. Okay, so you should know what's square root of 13, what's the square root of 14, what's square root of 15. Okay, so you should know the square root of all those numbers, because you will use it in exam. So when I ask you what is the square root of 169, so you know that it's 13. What is the square root of 196? You know it's 14. What's the square root of 225? So you know that it's 15, and so on. In these triangles, actually, this special case, or the special triangles, we know them, like for example 3 4, the other one will be 5. But anyway, you should show your work. So let's find this one. So this one is 169 minus 25, which is 144. So you should know what's the square root of 144. So y equals to the square root of 144, which is 12. Of course, here I'm taking the positive value because we know the length is positive anyway. So the answer is 12. Okay. I try as more as I can to anything I find in my way, any tip or any information you should know to inform you about. Now, next question is about the lowest common multiple. So, of course, now syllabus should know how to find the lowest common multiple. You should know the highest common factor. You should know how to write a number as a product of its prime factors. This is easy and in the same time popular question. Okay, I mean to write a number as a product of its prime factors. Okay, so you should know them. So now let's talk about this question number 14. Find the lowest common multiple of these expressions. So if you look at the numbers we have 2, 3, and 4. Remember that lowest common multiple is like union. Okay, so you will take all numbers, but take care you don't repeat. So when you have 3, you don't have any 3 there, so you will take 3. And if you look at 4 and 2, you take the highest of them, which is 4. Because 4 itself is like 2 squared, okay? If you have 2 squared and you have 2 to the power of 1, take 2 squared. Usually in the lowest common multiple, we take the number with the bigger index. Okay, so this is for numbers. Okay, how about x cubed? Okay, x, you will not see that we have x cubed and we have here x squared. So you take the highest, so which is x cubed. The same for y, you will find y to the power of 4 and y squared, so you take y to the power of 4. In case of z, you will find z here to the power of 1 and z cubed, so take z cubed. Okay, so the answer of this question is 12 x cubed y to the power of 4 z cubed. Okay, next question about probability. So we have an biased die is numbered 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Zaira rolls the die 3 times. Find the probability that Zaira rolls an odd number 2 or more times. So if it's 3 times, so we have 2 options. Before solving this one, let's see what is the probability of odd and what's the probability of even. So the probability of odd, let's count how many odd numbers we have. So we have 3 and we have 5. So we have 2 out of 6, which is 1/3. So the probability of odd 1/3. So of course the probability of not odd, which is even, is 2/3. Okay, this is as introduction. Now, what we need to find, they said it's if it's 2, okay, odd number 2 or more. Okay, we have 3 times, we need if it's 2 or more. Okay, so the probability that this odd to be 2, okay, or more, or which is what, 3. Okay, so let's do that. If it's the 3 times it's odd, so it will be the probability of odd 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3. This is the 3 times. Okay, plus we need the probability to be 2 times odd. Okay, 2 times odd, it means 1/3 times 1/3. Okay, times the third time should be even, which is 2/3. Okay, there's something missing, which is what, like 2/3 itself even, it can be at the beginning, maybe in the middle, maybe at the end. So we have 3 different arrangement. So because of this, we multiply by 3. Okay, because we have 3 different arrangements. So let's continue. So the first one is 1/27 plus, also here is 27, 3 times 2, which is 6. So the answer is 7/27. Okay, next one. Next one, find the next term and the nth term. So the first one, 12 became 14, so it's plus 2, 16 plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So we know that this one arithmetic. Okay, so this is arithmetic sequence, and it's linear arithmetic sequence. So the first difference is the same, so we know that it's linear. Okay. So, okay, let's talk what's next term. Next term, we have to add 2, so it will be 22. Okay, so this is 1 point for this. So the the 2 points, remaining 2 points will be for nth term. Okay, so we know that's linear, so I know it's n, and we know d, which is 2, so it will be 2n. And now let's ask how 2 can be 12. So we have to add 10. Okay, so the first term, if n equals to 1, so it will be 2. But the first term here, when n equals to 1, is 12. So how n can be, 2 can be 12? So you add 10. Okay. So in this case, or if you want, you can say, if I have a virtual term before 12, what it could be? Could be 10, which is this one. Okay. So if you want double check, substitute by 2. So if this one is 2, so 2 times 2, 4 plus 10, it's 14. So we are right. Okay, I will remove this one to not think that's in squared. Okay, next one. The same. I mean, it's a sequence, but let's check the same. What's happening from 81 to 27? Like you multiply by 1/3, or you divide by 3. It's the same. So you divide by 1/3. You divide again by 1/3. 1/3. Okay. So what you expect next one to be? Oh, 1 times 1/3, it's 1/3. So you know that next term is 1/3. Okay, is this one arithmetic? No. We are not talking here about addition or subtraction. Here we are talking about multiplication. So this one is a geometric sequence. Okay. In geometric sequence, we have a formula, a r to the power of n minus 1. A is the first term. R is the common ratio. Okay, so just, what is the first term? 81. So it's 81 times R. What's R? R, the common ratio. The common ratio here is 1/3 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, so you may write it in this form. Okay, so 81 times 1/3 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, if someone else would like to simplify this equation, you may do that. Okay, next question is about circuit theorems. Okay, so the first question is angle OAC. How to find OAC? OAC, this one. As you see in this question, that OA is radius and OC is radius as well. So here this one is isosceles. So in isosceles you will say 180 minus 116 divided by 2. This will give you this x and this x. So this x equals to 180 minus 116 divided by 2. Which is 32 degrees. Okay. Okay, next part. So let's write it. This part is 32 and here is 32. Okay. Now next one, find angle ABC. ABC. This one. How we can find this one? Actually, in this one, you can do it in two methods. Someone may say that if this is 116, so 180 minus 116, so you can find this one. And since this one also is isosceles, so you can find this angle. So 180 minus these two angles, you can find this one. Or someone else will say that the angle here is 90, the angle ACB, this angle is 90 degrees. Okay, why it's 90 degrees? Because angle at or angle in a semicircle is right angle. So you may do it in this way or in that way. So let's calculate. If we say that this one is 90, all of this one is 90, so you should say 90 minus 32, which is this one, 58. Okay, so if this one 58, and you know that this one will be 58 as well. Why? Because this one is isosceles, so two angles here will be the same. So this one is 58. Okay. If someone else said that this one is 180, the second method, 180 minus 116, so this one will be 64. Okay. So since this one is 54, you could say like 180 minus this 64, and then divided by 2, this will give this 158 as well. Okay, so you may use what's more suitable for you. Okay, so this one is 58. Okay. Next one is angle ADC. ADC. This one. Or ADC, as you see that this angle here on this vertex and this one, both of them opposite angles, equals to 180. So you may say that 180 minus 58. So this one, 122 degrees. Next one, find angle APC. So we need to find this one. What is this angle? So as you see that we have a tangent PC, this one. And the angle between the tangent and the chord is right angle. Like this one, this angle should be right angle. This one should be 90 degrees. Since this one is 90 degrees and this one is 64, so we can find the third one. So you can say 180 minus 90 minus 64. So 90 minus 64, which is 26 degrees. Next one. Next one, apples costs $2.5 per kilograms. The total cost of X kilograms of apples and Y kilograms of pears is $10. Find the cost of 1 kilogram of pears. Give your answer in terms of X and Y. So our answer it will be in terms of X and Y. Okay. So the total cost, which is $10, equals to apples, it's 2.5 per kilograms. How many kilograms did they say? We have X, so we have to multiply 2.5 X. Okay. Plus, we have here Y kilograms, but we don't know the cost. So let's say the cost is C. So CY. So what is the question here? The question is to find the cost of 1 kilogram of pears, which is C. Like find C. So the question you can say in different words like make C subject. So let's rearrange the equation. So 10, so this CY equals to 10 minus 2.5x. So C equals to 10 minus 2.5x over Y. So the answer is 10.2.5x over Y. 10 minus 2.5x over Y. So this is the answer in terms of X and Y. Next one is about functions. Find f of 2. So f of 2 substitute by 2. So 1 over 5 times 2 minus 4. So it's like 10 minus 4, which is 6, like 1 over 6. Next one, solve f of x equals to 1 over 11. So where is f of x? F of x is this part. So 1 over 5, x minus 4 equals to 1 over 11. So if you make cross multiplication, you may say that 5x minus 4 equals to 11. So then you may say that 5x equals to 11 plus 4, 15, you can divide by 5 both sides, so x equals to 3. Next part, the inverse function. Inverse function, first step, instead of x, write y equals to 1 over 5x minus 4. Then you can switch y with x. Then make y subject. So x 5 xy minus 4x equals to 1. Then five xy equals to 1 minus plus 4x. So you may say that if you divide both by 5x, so y equals to 1 plus 4x divided by 5x. So this is the inverse function. This one is the inverse function. So the inverse function is 1 plus 4x divided by 5x. Next one, rationalize the denominator. To rationalize the denominator, let's multiply by the same denominator but different sign. So square root of 3 minus square root of 2. So we'll make the same but different sign. So let's multiply by the same. So now if you multiply square root of x times square root of 3 times square root of 3, it's 3. And plus times minus square root of 2 times square root of 2, which is 2. And now let's multiply this one. The first one times the first one is square root of 3 times square root of 3, which is 3. Then square root of 3 times minus square root of 2, so it will be minus square root of 6. And then minus square root of 2 times square root of 3, it will be minus square root of 6 again. And then minus square root of 2 times minus square root of 2, it will be plus 2. So now the answer will be, okay, 3 collected like terms here, like 3 plus 2, which is 5, minus 2 square root of 6. So the answer, and of course 3 minus 2 is 1. So it's 5 minus 2 square root of 6. Next one, expand. When you expand, look here, you will discover that this term is the same as this one, and this term is the same as this one, but different signs. In this case, it's like difference of two squares. So just to multiply the first one by the first one and the second one by the second one. So square root of x plus 1 times the same, it will give you what's under the root. So it's x plus 1. And minus times plus, it's minus. And square root of x times square root of x, which is x. So x minus x, which is 0, and the answer is 1. Last question. Line L is perpendicular to the line with equation y equals to 2x plus 1. So let's start from this point. So you can know that from this point that m1 equals to 2. So this is the gradient of the first line. So line L, the gradient of line L will be negative of the reciprocal. So it will be negative 1 over 2. Okay. So if you want to find now the equation of the line L, you should write y equals to mx plus c. This is the form of the straight line equation. So it will be negative 1 over 2x plus c. And this is the gradient. Okay. So this is the first step. Okay. Second step, you need to substitute by a point on the line to find C. So the point what we have in the line 312. So at 312, this is X and this is Y. So 12 equals to negative 1 over 2 times 3 plus C. So 12 equals to negative 3 over 2, or you can say negative 1.5 plus C. So C itself equals to 12 plus 1.5 equals to 13.5. So this is C. So what is the equation now? The equation is Y equals to negative 1 half X plus 13.5. So this is the equation. Okay, next part. The shortest distance from the point 312 to the line y equals to 2x plus 1 is the square root of x. Find the value of x. So now we should think about, okay, to sketch to make it easier. Okay, so what we have, that we have line like this. This line called y equals to 2x plus 1, okay, is intersecting here at 1 and it's increasing, and we have a point called 312. This point may be something like here, let's say, and this line, we need the shortest distance from this point to this line, so from this point and to this line. And as you know that the shortest distance, it means perpendicular, it means right angle. Okay, in different words, you can say that this line, what you found before, this line, like y equals to negative 1 half x plus 13.5. Okay, so we need to find the shortest distance from this point to this line, which is this point. So you need to find what? We need to find the intersection between the two lines. If I have the intersection point between the two lines, it means I have 2 points. I can just substitute in the equation of finding the distance between 2 points. So let's find first. So you may say that this question is about, you have 2 linear equations and you need to solve them. Okay, so the first equation is y equals to 2x plus 1, and the second one is negative 1 half x plus 13.5. Now we need to substitute from the first one in the second one, so you may substitute by this one. So 2x plus 1 equals to negative 1 half x plus 13.5. So in this case, 2x, if you collected the like terms in one side, so 2x plus 1 half x equals to 13.5 minus 1. So this is like 2.5x equals to 12.5. So x equals to what? 12.5 if you divide by 2.5 both sides. So the answer is 5. Okay, so now we know that x equals to 5. So if x equals to 5, what is the value now of y? Okay, if I will substitute in this equation number 1. Okay, so y equals to 2 times 5 plus 1, so it's 10 plus 1, which is 11. So the point there, this point, it's 5 and 11. So now I have 2 points. I have 312, and the second point is 511, and I need to find the distance between them. So this one is x1, y1, this one is x2, y2, and the distance, okay, which is the square root of k as given in the question, square root of k equals to the square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. So let's substitute. So 3 minus 5 squared plus 12 minus 11 squared. So the answer is 3 minus 5, which is -2, squared, which is 4, and there we have 1, so it's the square root of 5. So this one square root of 5, so the square root of k equals to the square root of 5, so k equals to 5. So thank you so much. See you